as kids. Snow White. She's the first Disney princess and also the youngest. At only 14 years old, her childhood is not too far behind her. Snow White was born to a royal family. Unfortunately, she didn't have the chance to live the life of a princess. Her mother passed away after birth, only living long enough to give her that beautiful name. Then her father remarried a cold-hearted queen, only to join Snow White's mother shortly after. The evil queen cared about nothing other than being the fairest of them all, and when she saw that the little girl was becoming more beautiful every day, she became jealous. This is why she dressed the child in rags and forced her to work as a maid. So when we saw how an artist reimagined Snow White wearing that beautiful dress, we understand why the evil queen was afraid of the competition. The princess is prettier than ever, and we think that she should already be the fairest of them all, even at a very young age. She is also wearing the tiara that she deserves and seems to be going outside for a picnic instead of doing chores. Maybe this is what Snow White would look like if she had been raised by her parents. But everything happens for a reason, so this life of misery might just be what she had to go through to meet the prince and live happily ever after. Cinderella. Here is another princess who was treated like a servant, this time until she was 19 years old. Cinderella was born to wealthy parents who loved her and lived in a beautiful castle. Her life changed when her mother passed away, and her father remarried another woman to make sure her daughter had a mother figure in her life. The young girl would have been happier with a single father because her stepmother turned out to be a horrible woman. When her father passed away, Cinderella was left alone. This is when she realized how cruel she could be. Lady Tremaine spoiled her two daughters, Anastasia and Drizella, and forced the young orphan to work as a slave. No matter what, Cinderella had the strength to stay sweet, humble, and kind. But what if this stepmother decided to treat her like her own daughter instead? This is how the artist reimagined her. She doesn't need the help of mice or a fairy godmother anymore. The young girl is already wearing a gorgeous dress that she received for her birthday, and she's also wearing a tiara herself because even if she's not a princess yet, she thinks that she deserves to be treated like one. And she's right. Every child should be the most important thing in the world to their parents.
If you want to watch just one more video, the Premium is the platform where you should go. Get early access to videos from The Things, The Taco, The Trendy, The Richest, and many other great channels in one place with ad-free browsing. Click this link to sign up for the Premium and get ready to binge watch videos from your favorite channels.
Aurora. Her story is similar to what Snow White lived, falling in a deep sleep and being saved by the kiss of a prince. But these two princesses had really different childhoods. A king and a queen had been blessed by a beautiful blonde daughter. People from all around the kingdom came to celebrate her birth. 3 of them were fairies, giving her the gift of beauty and the gift of singing. But before the third fairy could use her magic wand, Maleficent appeared and cursed the young princess. Her life would end when she would prick her finger on a spinning wheel. The third fairy used the last gift to give Aurora the chance to be saved by the prince. To make sure that she was safe, the young blonde girl was raised by the 3 fairies until she was 16 years old. And as we can see from this picture, they took good care of her. Young Aurora is full of energy. She is not the kind of kid who will be able to sleep too early. As we can see, the fairies finally decided that she would be wearing a pink dress. But we bet that they will change their minds soon and argue to make the princess laugh. This little family is proof that even if your parents don't have the chance to see you grow up, what matters most is that you can stay with people who love you. Ariel. This beautiful sea creature lived a childhood unlike any other, until she decided to live on land at the age of 16. The Little Mermaid was the 7th and youngest daughter of King Triton, ruler of Atlantica. She seemed to have all the things she needed, but this wasn't enough for her. All her life she collected little treasures that belonged to humans and dreamed of one day walking on the land. She spent her day exploring the sea, looking for another object that sunk under the water. Unfortunately, this admiration for the human world was not appreciated, so she had to keep it secret from other sea creatures. Sebastian and Flounder were the only ones who knew about this, and as we can see, they have been friends for a very long time. The yellow and blue fish was already by her side when she was a little mermaid. Ariel seems to be a funny kid. We bet that she spends all day discovering new places and finding objects that would help her understand our world. Her father is probably nervous every time she leaves because he doesn't know when she'll come back. And we understand why he is. She's the kind of girl who can exchange her voice for a pair of legs and almost disappear forever for a stranger. We better watch this little girl or teenage Ariel will get into trouble really quickly. Belle. The young woman is one of the lucky princesses who had the chance to live a beautiful childhood until her life changed at age 17. Her mother came from a wealthy family but passed away shortly after the birth of her daughter, and Maurice was left with the most precious thing he could ever find, Belle. She had the chance to be raised by a loving father, and she probably had a lot of unusual toys to play with when we see all the crazy things he can create. But what she loved most was reading. As soon as she learned how to read, Belle couldn't keep herself from opening a new book and being transported into a new universe. In this picture, you can see Belle wearing her most beautiful dress. This is not the girl we saw at the beginning of the movie, but the one that Maurice saw in her, his princess. She means the world to him. Little Belle is not interested in any boy because her father is the most important thing in her life. He is the one who encourages her to follow her dreams, and he knows that women were born to be more than just a pretty face. They are both a little weird, but also very smart, and this is why they have an amazing relationship. Jasmine. She seems to be one of the most fortunate princesses on our list, but her life was not as beautiful as it seems. Aladdin, the street urchin, was envious of her luxurious life, but there was one thing missing for her to be happy. As the daughter of the Sultan, Jasmine had to live in the palace. She didn't have the right to leave her royal home or meet other people. Her mother passed away years ago, and the only friend that she was left with was her pet tiger, Raja. The princess thought it was a gift from her mother, as she used to tell her stories of the tiger star. Jasmine wanted to see the world and experience life outside, so we think it was probably difficult for her to live on her own as a child. And this artist reimagined her as a dreamer who can't wait to go outside. Even if her father gives her all the things she needs, this is not what little Jasmine wants. She just wants to do what all the other kids do. But no matter what, we know that her father, the Sultan, loves her very much. He just doesn't have the time to show it. The only thing missing is the magic in her eyes, and Aladdin will one day make her discover a whole new world. Mulan. This girl is not a princess like any other. Actually, she isn't even one. But she has all the qualities she needs to rule the world and become a queen, even if she's just 16 years old. Born and raised in China, Mulan had to respect a lot of traditions. She was told that the girls must be pretty, be graceful, and know how to serve tea. They are not supposed to fight, they said. Her family wanted to turn her into the perfect housewife, waiting for the day she would meet her future husband. But this is not what clumsy and free-spirited Mulan wanted. When we see how Irene Martini reimagined her, we know that her dreams actually are bigger than that. This girl knows that being a kid is about having fun and experimenting, and she doesn't want to play with dolls. She wants to play outside, even if it means getting dirty in the mud and ruining her beautiful dress. She is not shy to say that she is one of the boys. Anyway, she never thought that wearing girls' clothes was comfortable. As a kid, she is not shy to be herself, but she could get prepared for all the challenges waiting for her in the future. Daring is her biggest strength, so make sure that you don't stand in the way of this stubborn kid who knows what she wants and how to get it. Tiana. The more we watch Disney princess movies, the more we wanted to hear about their childhoods. This is why Tiana was one of the first young women that we really got the chance to see as a kid. With her best friend Charlotte, she listened to the classic tale of a princess kissing a frog, and she was disgusted. Tiana was not interested in boys, but in learning new things with her father. James is the one who taught her how to cook while they were making their favorite recipe. They dreamed of opening a restaurant together, but Hugh reminded her that she had to work hard. And when he passed away, 19-year-old Tiana never let go of her dream. This princess reimagined by an artist doesn't know yet what it's like to have tons of responsibilities. This little dreamer still has a lot of energy. Wishing can only get her halfway to her dream, and this is what she's working on right now. Little Tiana doesn't know what's going to happen to her father now, but he will be forever a source of inspiration for her. Merida. We know what it's like to become a teenager and get more distant with our parents. Merida is no exception. When she was a kid, she had a close relationship with her father and mother. Always ready to have fun, she would play hide and seek with the woman who raised her. But what she loved most was archery. We wouldn't let a child play with a bow and arrow, but this one is extremely skilled. The redhead was also really curious and naive, believing the myths and legends of her kingdom. Little did she know, she would soon become the hero of her own fairy tale story. The little Merida, reimagined by Irene Martini, is still very affectionate. She loves to cuddle with her bear, which could represent the relationship she had with her mother at the time. This little girl is not really stubborn yet because her parents let her do whatever she wants. She doesn't have to think about looking like a proper lady, and everything is perfect like that. We hope she enjoys her childhood as much as she can because she will soon have to face the responsibilities of being an adult. We think that 16-year-old Merida we know is still close to her inner child because she acts like one. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't you think these little humans often look much happier than grown-ups? Rapunzel. We won't forget about the princess who had a really unusual childhood. Before her birth, her mother was sick and had to eat a magic golden flower with healing properties. This is how Rapunzel got her powers, but Mother Gothel wanted it to be hers. When she saw she couldn't just cut the blonde hair, she decided to take the baby instead. This evil witch locked the child in a tower until her 16th birthday. But even when she was on her own, Rapunzel was never alone. She had her friend Pascal to make her laugh and her creativity to transform her room into another universe. We can see her energy shine when we take a look at the princess reimagined by an artist. She learned to be happy with the little things and can turn anything into a funny activity. Her hair is not long enough for her to jump out of the tower, but she is preparing herself for this crazy adventure by dreaming out loud. Painting and reading are great ways to escape, and this time, this is certainly something we can relate to. Is there any